If you're sending out dozens of applications and hoping for the best, you're not doing it right. Sure, if you have a strong profile, you might still land a great job. But let's be honest, if companies are already chasing after you, you probably couldn't be watching this video right now. In this video, I'll walk you through job search strategies that actually work. I'm Tuyết, and let's do it. Step 1. Define your target jobs. Start by picking 2 to 3 job roles that match your skills and interests. For example, I studied marketing. I knew I wanted to work in the B2B sector because B2C felt a bit too emotional for me, and I am more into structure and information, which fits better with B2B. Within that space, I defined my target jobs as paid social media manager, SEA and website manager, CRM and automation manager. These roles match both my skills and interests. And once I had that focus, it was much easier to shape my profile. That means customizing my CV for each role, building a portfolio if needed, and even taking a few courses to strengthen specific skills. One target job is probably not enough unless you are in a very niche field. 3 is a good number to keep your search focused without feeling too limited. More than 5 is usually too many. It often means you are not sure what you're good at or what you want. And if you don't even know it yourself, how can you convince a recruiter, right? Step 2. Check the market fit. Once you have defined your target roles, it's good time to see how well your profile fits the market. Go on a job portal. I usually use LinkedIn and look around 5 job ads per each role, and then break down the requirements into 3 groups. Must-have skills, the skills that appear in almost every job ad, the skills that you already have from work experience, study, or personal projects, and the skills that you are missing. If you want to take it a step further, map out those missing skills on a simple effort impact scale. How long would it take to learn these skills and how important they are for the role? By doing that, you can prioritize what to focus on first. As a rule of thumb, if you match 80% of a job description, you have got a fair shot, go for it. But if you are below 60%, your chances are much lower. That is when you need to decide, do I still apply and hope for the best, knowing that it is a luck game, or do I build those missing skills first and apply later? From my experience, people who take the time to strengthen their profile first usually get hired faster than those who just keep sending out applications. And one more thing, if closing the skill gap would take more than 6 months, it might be worth rethinking your target role for now. Not to give up, but just to be smart and strategic about your job search. Step 3. Design your CVs for your target jobs. You have probably heard this 100 times. Always customize your CV for every job. That's true, but you don't have to start from scratch every time. That's exhausting and honestly not necessary. From your research in step 2, you can create a strong CV for each job role by matching your background to the common skills you found in the job ads. These become your CV templates. For example, in my case, one CV for paid social media manager, one for CRM, and one for SEA SEO. The core stays the same, and you can tweak details to match each job description. Sprinkle in extra skills you have to help you stand out, but make sure the must-haves are front and center. These are keywords that recruiters and algorithms look for. Once your templates are ready, you can save a huge amount of time and effort. In the end, many companies in the same field want similar things, and your experience won't magically change between applications. So instead of creating 50 completely different CVs, just build a few smart ones and adjust as needed. Step 4. Keep track of your applications. Don't just write down job title and a tick for rejected or passed. That's not enough. You need a tracker that actually shows what's happening with your applications, where you are strong and where you are losing opportunities, so you can fix it. Here's what I track: job title, company name, industry, type of company, location, salary expectation, date applied, status, job link, success probability, and possible reasons for rejection. So how do I use that? The basics, job title, company name, application date, and job link, keep things organized. If I haven't heard anything after, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks, I follow up via email, LinkedIn, or even make a call. Of course, I don't do that for every job, but I do that for those that I really want or I have a good chance at. Industry matters because some companies strongly prefer candidates from their field. So if I notice more callbacks from a particular industry, I make sure to make it more visible in my CV and cover letter. I also track company types because startups usually want people who can wear multiple hats, while corporates prefer specialists who work in a structured way. So knowing this helped me to shape my CV differently for each. Salary is another big one. Rejections sometimes just come down to being outside the range. So tracking this helped me to adjust if I see a pattern. For success probability, I keep it simple: high, medium, low. So if I get rejections or no response from multiple high chances, that is a sign that my CV or my approach needs to change. But if I get rejected from a low chance, I move on. No need to stress about it. Possible rejection reasons are also worth noting, even if I'm guessing. It helps me improve my future applications and stop me from overthinking if I'm rejected. I have linked my tracker template in the description. It's not just for staying organized, but it also makes the job search less emotional and more strategic, which means less frustration and less self-doubt. And trust me, in job search, it matters. Step 5. Leverage networking and visibility. If all you're doing is firing off your applications into the black hole of the internet, you are missing out. Not every job is posted online, and by the time you see a job ad, the company might already have a shortlist. That's where networking comes in. And I don't mean awkwardly messaging strangers to ask for a job. I mean building real connections even before you need them. I'll focus on 3 things. First, start with people you know, former colleagues if you already work, classmates if you are still a student, friends of friends, or even your neighbors. So whenever you talk to them, don't forget to mention that you're looking for a job. Start with something like, hey, I'm looking for a specific job in a specific industry. So if you hear anything, please let me know. The more specific, the easier to help. In many companies, people get bonus if their referral is hired. So don't be shy. In this case, it is a win-win situation. Second, stay visible in your field. The most common platform for this is LinkedIn. Posting once every week or 2, a lesson learned, a useful tool, or sharing useful content in the industry can help you to reach more people, including recruiters, and who knows which opportunities will it bring to you. Last but not least, connect with people at companies you like. You can reach out to someone in your target role, of course not to randomly ask for a job, but to engage with their work or to ask thoughtful questions. And when opportunities come, you can ask if they're looking for someone or if they can refer you to any position that they know. At this point, you already establish a connection with them, so the likelihood that they are ready to help you is higher. If you want to find out more job opportunities beside the big job portals, check out my video in the top right corner. Here I go into more details. I know job searching is always frustrating, but with the right strategies, you can make it less stressful and more predictable. If it was useful, give it a like so more people can see it, and subscribe for more practical career tips. Thanks for watching and good luck with your job search.